Hello. How is everyone doing tonight? So I heard you guys wanted to craft tonight. So I decided that it would be super fun to show how much I care about you guys stopping by to check out my videos. So we are going to use our Care Bears. These are called the 80s Bears, but I'm going to make them into Care Bears. Aren't they adorable? They're so cute. So you can't make all the Care Bears like that they have on the market. Hi, Jimmy Lynn. But I chose a couple of these bears, and then some of the little icons that are in here represent some, can show some of them like the Care Bears. So I chose a few of them, 3 to be exact. Hi, Diana. And we're going to make Care Bears. And I decided there's also a cloud right here. So I thought we would use the clouds as well. So I cut a couple of clouds out. Hey, Cheryl. Hey, Michelle. And I thought I didn't leave a white border around these because I want to use them on this background paper. So this is background paper from Interstellar. See, there's the scene that you guys have seen before. And I figured when we colored them, they would mix in, but they would be perfect for my little bears to like hang out on. Up in the clouds, they have their own personal little cloud. You know how I always have a story for my bears. So I stamped these 3 bears, but I did not put anything in their belly because I wanted to show you how it works. Hey, Anna. Hey, Michelle. Coming to you from the hospital. Oh, I hope everything's okay. So what I did was this is the little Sunshine. So there is a Care Bear called Funshine Bear. And we are going to use this one for Funshine Bear. But I want to wait until I do the inside white and then we'll stamp this in there. I also chose the rainbow, which if you know Care Bears, the rainbow is Cheer Bear. So we're going to have a little Cheer Bear here like this. And then I have one more. I have this one, which is the little moon. Yes, it is a set for sale. This is a set at the Sassy Club. And I love these so much. So there's a little, can you see it? It's a little moon with a star hanging from it. And that is Bedtime Bear. So Bedtime Bear. So we're going to color the inside of their bellies a little bit with the very light gray. And we'll probably do that first so we can stamp after. But that's why I didn't put this stamping in there yet. Because I wanted to be able to, stamp after I colored. So I don't have to color around the Sunshine or the other ones. Hey, Meg. How's everybody doing tonight? I'm so excited to see all you guys here. So, I love this set. I bought it once and then I wanted to make Grumpy Bear. And I struggled a little with how to get this grumpy cloud with the hearts like on the bear. So I sold it. And then I saw it again and I was like, I love that set. So I bought it again. So yes, I bought it twice. That's how much I love it. And you have to go to the Sassy Club, but I'll put the link under this video when the video's over, or my affiliate link, but you can just go to the sassyclub.com if you want. And you can just put in the little note that you watched my video, and that does the same thing as my affiliate link. So no worries about that at all. So here's the 3 we're going to do. There are several places on these little bears that have some white accent because their colors are so solid on the bodies. So we're going to do all the white parts first. So C2 is going to be the color that we're going to start with. And we are going to do like this little tuft of hair around his heart nose is going to be white. So we're going to put just a little bit in there of this color. Just a little bit. And then the insides of his ears, which are normally pink, but these are kind of like the little animated stuffed bears. So it's actually going to be white on the inside of their ears for these. And then also this part of their belly has to be white, so we can put the colored part inside, the whatever symbol you want to put in there to make a Care Bear. And if you have, like, if you want to draw, you can make your own Care Bears, whatever kind of Care Bear you want. You could draw the little symbol, or a lot of stamp sets on the market have teeny tiny little stamps. So the one that I have, the alien set that we have in the shop that released this month, there's a teeny tiny little spaceship. So you could even put the spaceship in the belly and make him, I don't know, Space Bear, Alien Bear, I don't know, whatever. But most stamp sets have, you know, a lot of stamp sets have teeny tiny little parts. So you could probably find a clover for Luck Bear, and you could probably find any pieces that aren't necessarily in this particular set. You could find them in other stamp sets and make your own, or you could just draw it. You know, like birthday bears, a balloon. There is a balloon in this set. And Tender Heart Bear's a heart. And there's a heart in this set. And then there's one with a cupcake, like Birthday Bear, I think. So you could use a cupcake from another set and put it in there. I mean, these bears are so versatile. Or you could just make them like a little brown bear or a little black bear. You can make them whatever color bears you want. So I thought they'd be fun to play with tonight, so we could kind of see what they look like all colored up. And then what's better than a cloud sky? It's perfect. So I think I missed this ear right here. I'm just checking for my white spot. And this nose. So each one of these is a different bear, and the set has 6 bears in it. So it's a pretty big set. And I haven't decided if that would be cool. I do really love it. I know. It's crazy. I sold it and then bought it again. So I don't really know what to say about that, but but except that I bought it and someone else got a really bargain deal. So now I'm going to move to C0, and I'm just going to extend out a little bit. I'm not going to color the whole thing in with this because I'm going to use my colorless blender just to keep it, you know, close to white. But we want it to have a little variance from being stark white like the paper. I mean, technically this paper is a little off-white anyway, so it's technically not white. So we're just going to add a little bit in here. This is Bedtime Bear. He's one of my favorite bears because that's what I want to do all the time and do rarely is sleep. No, you didn't miss it, and we're Care Bear coloring. We're going to make Care Bears. So I have 3 in mind, but we're going to stamp their bellies after we color this little bit of white. So we don't have to color around it. And I wanted to show everybody how easy it is to stamp inside of them. Okay, so now I have my colorless blender, which I'm just going to blend those colors so you don't see any lines. So just wherever there's no color. I was so worried that everybody would be so busy tonight that they wouldn't want to do the live, but you guys came out in force. Do it tonight. So I was like, okay, I'll do it tonight. It's just, you know, you don't want to do a live when no one can make it. You know, you want to do it when people can be there to see and hang out and chat and talk. And I'm not really doing anything for the holiday. I mean, I can see the Rowlett fireworks usually from my upstairs bedroom, so I don't even really have to go anywhere. I can just watch the fireworks from my house, so that's kind of nice. So his working to reverse it. Oh, that is awful. I'm so sorry to hear that. You're not doing anything for the 4th either, Sandra? Yeah. Well, I have somebody coming over to visit with me on tomorrow evening to color with me, so that'll be fun. Okay, now we're going to stamp the little symbol inside the bear's belly. You're too pregnant. I understand. It's too hot, too. So this little bear is going to have this sunshine. So, and if you guys have never used these little round blocks, they're really cool. I got that at Sassy Club, too. Small party at my house on Saturday. It's going to be fun. Actually, it's on Friday, tomorrow night, like the holiday night. I have a friend that is in the local area, but she doesn't have any family here, so she's gonna come over and hang out with us. Grabbing a scratch piece of paper because this looks a little bit like it's kind of fuzzy, and I want to make sure. Oh, nope, we're good. I want to make sure it's gonna stamp. Okay, so you just line up this cute little sun in the middle of the bear's belly, which is a little hard to do on camera because I can't stand straight over it, but a lot easier for you guys. But there you go. Now we have a little sunshine face in the belly. Oh, so I'll tell you who's visiting. So here's what happened. There was a group, I think it's Stamp Junkies, and they've been posting people in your local area, like they just said like Texas, and then people commented, you know, the city that they live in. Like I just said Rowlett, Texas, and left it at that. Well, one of the girls in there was like, oh my gosh, I would love to color with you. I live in Plano, which is like literally 15 to 20 minutes from my house. So we made a plan to color together, and then my father-in-law passed away and I had to leave town, so we had to cancel. I felt really bad. So I talked to her today and she was like, well, I'm open on Friday night. And I was like, okay, let's do it. So her name is Rebecca Blagg. She is going to be at my house tomorrow, so it's going to be fun. We're going to color together, and yeah, it's going to be super fun. Look at those bears. They're so cute. Okay, I need to know, how many of you had a Care Bear when you were young? Because I know that's my time frame. Like Care Bears were out when I was little. Maybe not so little, but yeah, I'm excited to have somebody to color with. I have a stack of stuff I need to color for upcoming releases, hint, hint. And I want to make sure that I have time to color them. So she might actually get a sneak peek while she's here, just because, I mean, when you come to my house and color with me, that's what you get. You see what I have. Hey, Jana. And Diana. Oh, Diana, you can come too. Well, you got, just send me a message if you're going to be in town, but I think you're a little bit far from me. But you're welcome to come too. It is going to be crafty fun. Okay, so now we have to pick colors. So Bedtime Bear is usually blue because, you know, bedtime, I don't know, blue, it just kind of makes sense. Cheer Bear is pink, but the rainbow colors in the rainbow. And this one is, I used to call it Sunshine Bear, but it's really called Funshine Bear. It would be so fun. I'd hang out with you, Adele. Yes, you could. Anybody who could get here can come over, because I know there's not very many people that live in my area. Okay, so let's start with Funshine Bear. So this is Funshine, and we're going to do this one yellow. So we're going to choose several yellow colors to play around with. And this time I'm not going to use the yellow orangey color. I want it to be more yellow. And I'm also going to grab just a little bit darker color for the sun. So yeah, that'll be good. So it stands out a little bit more from the rest of the body. So the rest of the body, the second one right here is going to be the darkest for the bear. And then this is going to be the darkest for the sun. So yeah, it's going to be fun. We're going to do a lot of coloring. I'm excited. I'm excited to be coloring. I have, like I said, a stack of stuff I need to color. Okay, so we're just going to do the entire outside of this sun. This one, I'm not so much going to be worried about like a direction of the sun, because, or of the light, if you will, because it's not really going to matter. We are going to put these little bears in the clouds. And so in the clouds, the sun is kind of below them. So you're not going to get a whole lot of sunlight. So I'm just going to play around tonight with the colors. They're not going to be anything fancy. I'm also going to do the heart on the nose with this little bit of darker color so it shows up just a little bit more. And I can't decide if I want to do their bottom lip in a color or white. I'm thinking probably white. So I missed that when we were doing it. Oh, we should do the eyebrows, this dark color too, just so it stays a little bit darker than the rest of the bear. There we go. Now we're not going to put it on anything else. Hi, Heather. Welcome, welcome. Super happy to see you guys. So while I was thinking tonight was going to be a bad night for everybody, it's actually a great night. Okay, let me grab the C2 again and do...
Yeah, because hopefully no one has to go to work tomorrow.
I know. I hope everybody's off work tomorrow. That's what makes it so fun. So I want this bottom lip to be just a little bit darker in the corners. So I used the C2, and then the C0 will just kind of mix that together right there. And we'll just make his lip just a little bit darker than the rest of them. But he does have a smile too. And you know, I cannot help it. It's going to have a little bit of pink inside his mouth too. So we're just going to add that right now. And we'll have to do that on most of the bears. So these are not like real bears, so I'm not really going to focus a whole lot on the fur, but I am going to give them a little bit of fur accent. So we're going to start with Y18, and we're going to put it underneath. Maybe I'm going to make them more furry than I thought I was. So we're going to put it under here, but they're more like stuffed animals, except they are kind of alive. Cartoon characters, so they don't necessarily have a whole lot of fur look to them. But if you had the Care Bear that you like slept with or carried around when you were little, then they were furry because they were stuffed animals. I'm gonna put a little bit over here too. And then we're gonna do underneath his hands, because for sure that's going to be darker there and here and then here. And then we're just going to do the bottoms of his feet. And there's his body. Now we're going to work on his face a little bit. So I want to put a little bit of that darkness right around his nose right here. And just a tad bit up. Not a lot, just a teeny tiny bit. And then I'm going to extend this area right here, put a few little brush strokes there on the side. I have not colored these Care Bears yet, so I'm not really sure what they're going to look like when I get done, but we're just going to kind of wing it. I just think they're cute, and they can't be too challenging. You can do whatever you want. So there we go. And then this part up here, I'm just going to kind of put a few little brush strokes in these little tufts of hair up there. And down the sides a little bit. Right to about halfway down the ear. And then we're going to do close to the head on both sides of the ears. And that's all we're going to do with the darkest color. I think this zooms in and out too much, and I think that's because my camera's too close to the table, so I'm going to have to move that for next live because that's driving me crazy. Does it drive you guys crazy too? Okay, Y15 is next. We're also going to use some of the new resin dots that are going to be in the shop when we have our next release. So Dale made, I have the prototypes. You guys know I always end up with the prototypes. So I'm going to have the prototypes and I'm going to use them tonight because they're a perfect color. Here we go. So we're kind of doing a little fuzzy around the edges. And notice I'm changing the direction of the little fuzzy areas based on what part of the head I'm on. So kind of keeping it round all the way around like that. That kind of starts to build in that little bit of a bear look. And then we're going to do just a little bit out from this. We're going to start building this out just a little bit around the nose. I'm also going to put a little line between the nose and the eyes, just because I want to start building a little bit of a cheek area there. So that is my plan. There we go. And just around the bottom of the hands. And then this side. I mean, you could make these as simply colored as you want, but you know me, I have a hard time doing them really simple. I always have to add take my time and add a lot of accents to them. That's just the way I roll. I'll be coloring late into the night tonight with some of the other stuff I have to get done. There we go. Now, this is the second yellow color, so I'm going to start working on extending out this sun area. I didn't do it with the first color because I want it to really stay significantly darker, so I won't use all the highlight colors either. I need to do it here. I'm just going to finish off the little nose. And then we're going to work a little bit more on the ears. There we go. Now, next color is Y13. You will be right back. Okay. Alien, yes. Oh, I know. It's so fun. I almost did this one tonight. I almost did this one. I can't, we're going to have to color this one because it's amazing. It's one of my favorites. So I think we'll do that one soon, but I don't know. I was just feeling the Care Bear tonight. So this is Y13, and maybe it's just because I felt the love when everybody was voting on what night to do the live. I was like, oh, people are going to be around to watch me. Yay. So I felt the care coming through the phone. So I thought these would be perfect. Just think of all of the different things that you could, the different cards you could create, and the scrapbook pages and stuff that you could use these little bears for. It'd be so cute in a baby book or baby cards. That'd be really cute. In fact, I might have to use them for my niece is having a baby, so I may have to make her a card and use these bears because they're so cute. Oh, you know, and Sandra is having a baby, so, you know, can't go wrong with Care Bears. He's a little alien cutie for sure. The scrapbook page would be amazing for these, I think. I could see me using them a lot if I was working on a little one's scrapbook. It would be really fun. There we go. And now I'm going to finish the little sun on the belly because I don't want to put the highlight in it. I want to keep it a little bit darker. So it's perfect. Yay! Oh, we didn't really do any with the ears, so let's go ahead and use this right along the inside of the ear right here. That'll leave the tips of the ears for the last color. We'll put a little bit in that tuft of hair too. Now he looks a little funny right now, but it'll be all right. A few weeks till your due date. I know. I bet you're ready now. I remember those hot summer days with a baby in your belly. So hot. You don't even want to go outside or move for that matter. All right, here we go now. We're going to start doing a little bit of this back and forth to blend these colors together on the cheeks. And notice I'm not doing it very quickly. I don't want to saturate the paper a whole lot because I don't want to get rid of my little lines. So I'm just barely touching it. I mean, really barely touching it. It's like a very light-handed. Just putting this Y11 in there just a little bit. Just to cover up the white and get that color in there. I'm going to go a little bit more off of this center so I can keep that little design right there in the front. And since I'm touching it so light, I'm looking at the camera and I can see a couple spots that need a little bit more, so I'm going over those. In life, it looks great already, but when I look at the camera and see what you guys see, sometimes it looks a little different. You don't want to move. I know, right? I remember those days. Here we go on the foot, and then I will hold it up to the camera so you can get a really good look at this cutie patootie. All right, you know, we always like to put the black multi-liner in the eyes because it makes them stand out. So if you have not seen that happen before, you'll want to watch right now because this is when it's really going to show up. So we'll do one side first so you can really see the difference. I'm actually going to do the little line under his eye as well in this one, because I want the whole eye to stand out. So can you see that major difference between the eyes? And that's why I always do that. It now matches the sun, the little sun, which is really cute. I like that little sunshine. I always thought his name was Sunshine Bear, but I think officially he was Funshine Bear. There we go. Now his little eyes look really good. And we're going to put white in his eyes, but we're going to let them dry. So now we're going to pull in. Okay, so there goes our Funshine Bear. We have a yellow one now. And I think we did pretty good on matching those yellow colors. So not too bad. He goes pretty good with our paper. So that's what I'm trying to do, is make sure I match my paper, because that is the paper I want to use. All right, so let's go with this bear next. And he's almost like, he's not like a blue, like a darker blue, because that's Grumpy Bear. He's more like a, almost like a blue-green color. Let me see what I got here that I want to work with. Maybe more like a teal color. I know that Wish Bear is very teal. So let's see. Let's try B060402 and see what that looks like. So let's grab our scratch paper. So if I'm not really sure, I always swatch out the colors. So I start with the darkest one. Oh yeah, I'm gonna like this color. This is gonna be great color. And then I take the second one and I go partially over that, and I just make sure that that line will disappear so that I know it'll blend really well together. And I test this, so if I can't get that line to disappear, I know those colors are not gonna work together. So see, if I just touch that line right there, it goes away. So now I know I'm gonna get a really smooth, beautiful color with this, and that is how I swatch them. So remember, we missed the bottom lip on all of them, so I have to go in with my C2, add a little to the bottom lip, and then my C0. We only have to do that on this one. The other bear doesn't have his bottom lip showing, so he's good. And his little mouth in pink. Not that you can even really hardly see that, but we're going to do it anyway. And then his little star that's on here is yellow. So I'm just going to grab my Y15 and put that yellow in there right now. Just in the center. And I think when we get the blue, the yellow, you'll be able to see the yellow. What is the name of the black liner? So that you can get this in two ways. So this is the Copic multi-liner. See, Copic multi-liner. This is the 0.5. I have the whole set. There's a whole set of them, but it's really expensive. So you can get a disposable version of the multi-liner as well. I think I have one of them on in my desk here that I can show you what it looks like. Maybe I have one. Yeah. So clearly I have an obsession with my multi-liners because I have a whole bunch of them. These ones that look like this, well, these are a different color, but they have, like, I have them in eye colors, so I have the blue and the tan, but they sell them in black too, and they look like this. This is the 0.3. But when you find them like this, they're much cheaper, but you toss them away. You toss them out when they run out of ink. But these, you can refill the ink. So this part pulls off on the back and you just put a new one in. And you can also replace the nib on this one. So this is like the artist grade multi-liner, and this is the cheap version, cheaper crafty version where you're not lining artwork with the multi-liners. So they have them in the different colors too. So I have the pink, the kind of that color. They have green. I use these for the eyes, sometimes green, blue, and then this one is if you want to do no lines. This is like a really light, warm gray. And then this is the cool gray. So you just look at the colors when you're getting them and make sure you get the right one. But when you buy this set, it comes like this and you get all of them. There's like, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 of them in there, and I believe that they're like 80 or 90 bucks. I mean, like, they're really expensive. The cheaper ones are a lot cheaper because you can't refill them or, you know, replace the nibs or anything like that. So that's the multi-liner, but you can use lots of other varieties too. You can use this one called Stedler Tri-Plus Fine Liner, works as well, and you can use it with Copics and it won't bleed. So you have those versions you can use. Those are the only two that I know about. It's not that there aren't any more, but when you have the top of the line and an exception one, then why do you need another one, you know? So For the Care Bears blanket, I think normally his blanket is like the same color as the bear, but we're going to make it yellow and pink tonight so it matches the other two bears. So we'll wait on the blanket until after we do the pink bear. So I'm going to skip the blanket for right now. Again, I want the moon to be a little bit darker and the nose to be a little bit darker, so we're not going to use the lightest color on these areas. So we're going to use just a little bit more when we go in here. And that's just because that's, I mean, not because you have to, but that's because that's how I want mine to look. So you can do that however you want when you color yours. I like the little hearts on their noses. And then I'm going to do the eyebrows the same way. So I'm kind of doing the same consistent pattern on all three of the bears. And now I'm going to use the color for my shadow area. So now we're going to start going around the bear. And we're going to kind of follow the same way that we did the other one. The thing is, this bear's in a different standing position. So while his face looks pretty much the same, his eyes are closed. This one is pretty close to this one. But this one is not. See, he's going to be standing up with his arms out and his little hearts in his hands. So he'll be a little bit different. This one will kind of be the same as the last one. Although, honestly, I don't know if you color a lot, you'll notice that if somebody asks you, like, oh, can you color like this and this for me? Can you do 2 of them? Or, you know, whatever. They never, ever, when I color them, look exactly the same. It's like I change it up unintentionally each time that I color. I mean, it's hard to get exactly the same thing every time. So he'll look similar, but not perfect the same. If that makes sense. You guys know what I mean. It's just, it's hard to replicate exactly the same color, exactly the same pattern and everything that you did the last time you did it. And the theory is the same, but it doesn't end up exactly the same. Ask Meg. Meg does classes. Meg, does when you color something, does it look the same even if you're trying to replicate it? Doesn't it just come out a little bit different every single time? I've never been one to replicate exactly anything at all. So I used to be a very avid scrapbooker. I was a creative memories consultant many, many, many years ago. And basically because I love their products. And I mean, like, they're the best. And so I owned their stuff and sold it just basically to supply my habit. I didn't really make money at it, but I had fun. And I have like 32 scrapbooks done. So I definitely scrapbooked a lot. And I enjoyed it. But they wanted us to sell like page layouts. You know, like they give you a little book and you look at the pages and then you replicate like the pages with your own pictures and whatever. And I have tried and tried and the pages never came out looking like theirs. Not because they like sucked or anything, but because I would find something else and change it up. I couldn't help myself, you know. You're like me, it's different each time. Yeah, it is. You're going to get some rest. Can you send me the links when you are finished? Yes, I can. I sure can, Michelle. No problem. You get some rest and you get better too. We'll be thinking about you, praying for you. All right. Yeah, you just can't. It's hard to replicate the same thing. It's almost like, you know how they always say when you color, practice makes you better, better, better. So every time you color, you improve a little bit. And so it changes and looks a little bit different when you do it. You can't help it, but it just is. Some people are very good at replicating pages, like scrapbook pages and such. really, really good. Now, when I went to help my cousin do her kids' scrapbooks, I could replicate those pages and make them look just like that, but I wasn't putting any pictures in them. I was just helping them get the pages ready, and I didn't have problems replicating the pages. So maybe it's just when it's for me. I just have different thoughts and ideas, I guess. But that was the only time I was ever able to replicate a page, was when it wasn't for me. But most of the time I just go rogue. That's what we call it all the time. That's what I call it all the time. When I color in somebody's class, sometimes I tend to go rogue. Like I start out trying to do what they want, and then I just go all off the rails. You copylist. You know, I say I don't ever do that, but I did when I first started coloring. I did look at other people's work. I did try to replicate what they did with the same type of colors, and, you know, but I just don't do that anymore, which is why I don't mind telling people like what colors I'm using, or if they want to know something that I did, like what color did I use, how did I do it, because I remember when I wanted to learn, which was a long, long time ago, something like 18 years, it was harder to find someone to help you with how to color. So I did the Copic certification to help with that, and I took a class once a month. And then I colored every day in between to make sure that I could hone in on the skills. But yeah, I loved it, but I didn't feel like there were enough people out there that shared what they did. So I like to share so you guys can learn. And you copylift now, but you won't forever. You'll always have your own opinion later. All right. This is the last color I picked, but we might need one more. I'm not sure.
You're talking about using someone else's blends.
No, I was saying that whenever, like, we're about to color 3 bears, but they will not, they're the same shape, but they will not come out exactly the same, because it's extremely hard to replicate the same exact color. And I'm just not very good at it, at replicating. I just end up doing it a little different every single time. It's the same theory, but it still gets a different look every time. And then she said, I color lift. She copies what other people do. And I said, I did that in the beginning.
Not long, it's coloring.
Yeah.
That's the important piece.
I mean, you're still the one coloring it, and you can always get the colors, but if you can't, if you don't know how to color, not going to look the same anyway. And even if you do know how to color, everybody has their own style. So yours isn't going to look the same as someone else's anyway. Might be close, might have the same idea, but it won't be exactly the same. It'll never be exactly the same, because we're not. We're all different people. I think I'm going to come in with one more color on this, just so I can kind of blend out some of those areas that have like really stark lines. But we'll see how it looks when I get done. This is a big space. The yellow, I think I used more markers. I think I used like 5. So I think I need one more for this one. I want to blend out some of that. Right now he's super cute though. See, some of this needs to be blended out a little bit, but I'm just going to make a few longer strokes since we're going to use one more color. I don't want to wash out anything. All right, let's do the little arms. We'll leave a little bit of white for the last color. And then the legs. And I forgot to go back to the other ones with the last color, so we'll come back in with that one. Oh, let's do up here. There we go. All right. These are a quick color too. I'll just go down to the next color, which is B1, and we'll just go from there. It's the same color family and everything, so I know it'll blend well, but it'll still leave the highlight, which we want to leave up there. All right, we're going to do the same thing we did before, which is just back and forth, but with really light hand, just to get that coat of color in there. Not a heavy-handed. Don't do it heavy-handed, or your bear will be very dark. And it probably won't have any shadow area on it.
You want the marker to be barely there.
Yeah, barely there. It probably doesn't look like that on camera, but I promise it is. Really, really light. Really, really light. I got a little bit in his white part of his face, so we'll just use our colorless blender to fix that. It's a small area, so you probably can't see it, but this is going to be fun when we put these bears on clouds in the sky. I think it's going to be really fun. I just couldn't help myself. When I saw that paper, I thought of this stamp set, and I was like, when I am going to do that. You're knocking stuff over on my desk. There we go. I think that's good. I like that bear. I think he looks really cute. Now, I'm going back to the second color that I used. So B06 was the first, B04 is the second. And I just want to get that in here, so I can keep these parts just a little bit darker than the rest. That way they stand out just a teeny bit. Here's our colorless blender. I'm just going to fix that little area on his nose. And because you can't see the insides of his eyes, I'll still put the multi-liner on it. The same one, the 0.5. Just because I want them to stand out like the other ones. There we go. Isn't he just adorable? I could see me coloring that little sleepy bear a million times. Let's see how we did on the background paper. Oh, it's good. It's good. All right, we have another bear. So we're going to leave our yellow off to the side because we have to do his blanket still. And then our pink. So our Loves a Lot bear was pink. And this rainbow bear, Cheer Bear is his name. He is more like a peachy pink color. So I'm gonna try to do him in maybe these colors. So this is RV34. So that's a really pinky color. But if you add this RV42, I love this color. It's like a salmon color. It's like a salmon pink. And it's pretty, but it gets us to that peachy world. And then come in with RV32 and kind of mix that together. And then you get a really pretty pinky peach color, which is the color I have in my head for this Care Bear. All right, so the rainbow is orange, yellow, and blue. I don't know why, but on his belly it's orange, yellow, and blue. So we're just gonna do it in 2 colors. So I'm gonna grab my YR04 and my YR02 for the orange part, which is this part right here. Just go ahead and put my rainbow in. Just 2 colors so we have a highlight in there. And then we're going to use the same yellow colors that we used before. So I'm going to use Y18 right along the bottom. It's a dark yellow. And then we're going to skip down to Y13 and do our center part of this rainbow. And then the blue part, in order to keep them all consistent, let's use the blue from our Care Bear, our other bear. So we'll use this blue down here. It's really dark in the corners, so I don't want too much of that. And that was B06. And then I'm gonna go to the B04 and we're gonna add that blue in there. And that's just to make sure that blue matches with the other bears that are gonna be in the scene. So now we have a cute, cute little rainbow. All right, we're moving right along, you guys. The only problem is we said 3 wasn't going to be enough. So we are going to need one more color. So let's pull this out and see if we can find a color that's going to match nicely with that. I'm thinking it's going to be one of these two colors. So maybe R12. So I'm going to do that at the bottom. Oh no, too peachy. What about R83? 83 is good, but I think it might be the same color as RV32. Pretty close to the same color. Well, it's a little bit darker. So how about we put 83 first, and then we'll use 32 as the last color. That way we have one more color added in there. And I think that'll work. I think, you know, I'm just rolling with it. I hope it works. We're about to find out. Here we go. Are you guys ready? So, RV34. And then remember, we're going to start with the hearts in the hands so we can keep them darker than everything else. And on the nose. So this one, the nose is pretty small, so I'm just doing the bottom of the nose. And then the eyebrows. We'll do those in this color as well. There we go. And this one has a tail. How cute. Oh, we're going to need to do our dark color now. So here we go. Same idea that we started out with on the other one. Keeping in mind that our next color is going to vary to a more peachy color, so we want to be careful we keep that in mind on how much ink we put on the paper of this color. I'm just going to be cautious since the next color is also still pretty dark. Just a different tone of dark. So here we go. I'm going to go up this side and give those cute little, that one was a little thicker than I wanted it to be. And then along the bottom right here. And that side. Now we're going to come here, kind of get us a little bit on these arms since they're sticking out. And then under the arms, he's got a little bit of a fur that you can tell from the artist lines. And then I'm just going to go along the bottom of those fingers as they're turned upside down, or paws, or whatever you want to call it. I mean, it's a bear. So there we go. All right, getting us some pink color in there. I'm excited but a little nervous that this color might not match so well with the background, but it's okay. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so I went under there and kind of build my little fence so I don't go into the white with this pink. And then, look, he's got this little tuft of hair right here on his little leg. So So at the bottom, and then I kind of went up a little bit into the little toe areas. And we'll do a little bit under his little bum right there. There we go. All right. I still have you people here. You got very quiet. Here we go. One more bear, and then we're ready to make a card. It's going to be fun. I love that paper, so I'm excited to use it. I know a lot of you loved it too because you guys bought it, and now you have it. Okay, here we go. Extending out this color. As you can see, it doesn't blend easily by itself. So you're going to have to go over it more than once. Just on that little line area. See how the second coat really blends that together? And then I'm just going to touch on some of the spots that aren't quite as blended. And then you have a beautiful blend. Yay, you're still here. It got very quiet, so I was like, It's that late night when people get sleepy. They could be watching, but also sleeping. It happens. You guys know I stay up hours after the lives. I don't go to bed early. And especially on holidays or when we don't have to work, then we're up till 3 or 4 in the morning all the time. Okay, so we're going to do along the little nose. I'm going to start building that up a little bit. So he has the little center. And then a little line out to the eyes. Okay, so we're starting to build them in. Here we go. Now the colors are different. Don't worry about that because the next two will help blend all that together. So I'm not really worried technically about the details at this point. And I'm not coloring in the nose and the palms until I get back to this shade, the pink, more pink than peach shade of ink. And then I will go back to doing that. So I'm skipping it with this color for that reason, because this is a different tone than the other one. I want to keep those the same. Okay, rocking down the body. A little bit on the tail. This part right here. I'll probably kind of curve this in to this little tuft of hair he has right there. And then down here. And up from the feet, the bottom of the feet. I just want a little bit there. Now I'm going to work on this area just a little bit more, just to help blend it a little bit. So a second coat right here, just because this is a larger area and easier to see that like darker area. It's such a pretty color. It's one of my favorites. I love this combination. The RV34, RV42, and RV32. I call that like a magic combination because it changes so much. Now this is R83 and I don't usually throw this one in there, but I'm going to because I feel like we need an extra color. So we'll see how this one turns out. So far, I like it. I really like that RV42. I use that, mix that 42 with a lot of different colors because I call it one of my magic colors. There's a B52 is another magic color. You think it's a blue, but it's like a grayish green blue, and it just mixes with other colors so well. That I just really like it. G00 is a good, also a good magic color for eyes. So I use it a lot on eyes. There's not a lot of them that I call magic colors, but those are definitely the ones. Okay, gonna extend out this area right here. Start really building that out. So our last color will help blend all of that in. So it won't look blended right now, but it will with the last one. Okay, here we go. We're going to keep those up and down like that. This is where I'm going to fill in. I was going to wait for the next color, but I think this one's darker, so we'll use that one. Now we're going to do the other hand. If you guys have any questions about this process, let me know. I'm more than happy to answer. Dale's watching comments in case I miss them. He's hanging out with us too. There we go. Up from the bottom. Same thing on this side. I almost felt like for a second I was coloring like a Yeti or something. Like I would do the same process on a Yeti. Hi, Beth. So I want to come back in one more time and just extend a few of these lines just so that the blending works a little better with the next color. So it's going to look crazy and whacked out. So don't judge. Just be patient and you'll see it get better. I promise it'll get better. I was wondering where you were, Beth. Oh, I dropped my marker and got it all over my hand, you know. It's a catastrophe that happens when you color. This is the last one. So again, with that extremely light touch, we're going to start blending these colors together. Oh, tonight I feel so thirsty. I already took a drink several times and now I feel like I need more. And I'm just going over those eyebrows because I made them the darkest color, so I'm okay with keeping them dark. Going over them again will just make them darker. And I'm okay with that. There we go. Keep moving around the face. Got to get up close to the eyes too. So we want to make sure we get that all done. Here we go. All the way up to the eyeball. And again, this is a careful process just because I want to touch the paper very lightly. I don't want to put too much ink on the paper. I want them to blend, but I also don't want too much color on there. Just kind of work that a little bit more there. I may have to come back and try again, but oh, a tough week. I'm so sorry. I hate when that happens. I had a pretty rough week too. I almost can't remember because Dale took me out last night, so we had a little mini hotel night stay, just a little bit out of town, and I forgot all my woes from this week, so it was really nice. There we go. I'm liking this pink bear. I wanted to do the purple bear, you guys, real bad, but it's Share Bear, and I didn't have anything, I didn't know what to put in the belly for Share Bear. I mean, they have like a cupcake or a milkshake or something like that for the Share Bear, but I think I'm going to come in, I think I'm going to grab the R81 and do a little bit more on his face just to get that color to mix a little bit more. I feel like if I put another coat of that RV34, it's gonna darken it up too much, and then I'm gonna lose all my lines. So I decided to grab this 81 because it's significantly lighter than 83, and I think it'll blend nicely with the rest. So I just grabbed it, but you can't put it in one area and not in the rest because it will change the color just a little bit, and then his head will look like it doesn't match the rest of his body. So we're gonna have to put it around the rest of the body as well. So in the ears, just a quick scan of it over top of the hands. Like you can tell I'm not putting a whole lot, just kind of splotching it in there a little bit so the color stays the same. What's that? Oh, that's right. Your birthday is coming up. Happy birthday. I did see that your birthday was coming up. So you're off on Monday. I'm off the rest of this week. I mean, I'm off of my other job, but I'm not off of my Doux Designs job. I still have to do work for that. Okay, so what I'm noticing here is that the hands, the little hearts in the hands and on the nose didn't come out as dark as they did with the other bears. So I'm going to go back in one more time with this RV34, and I'm just going to deepen up that color like on the nose and in the hands, because I really want them to stand out just a little bit, and I feel like they blend a little bit too much. So see how much better that looks? It just blends it out so much nicer. Makes it stand out a little better. So back to, when is the next release? Oh, you're going to be so excited. I'm hoping for mid to late July. Right now, I'm waiting to hear from the stamp company, that ones that make the stamps, to find out how they're doing with the stuff. But it's coming. It's really cool. I'm excited. I have not done anything like this one before. It's going to be something really, really new. So, yeah, I'm pretty stoked about it. Also, there will also be a release coming out. Like, do you guys remember when I did the tiki stuff for paper play dates? Remember when I did the drinks and the tiki totems? And I told you could get them at paper play dates. And the artwork is by me. Well, I did 2 more sets for her that'll be coming out soon as well. So you'll actually get more than just, they won't come out in my shop, but they'll come out in her shop, but they're still my artwork. So keep yourself ready. I'm not sure, Cheryl, if it's going to be exactly, I'll be posting one as soon as I get the feedback. Of course, it's the holiday, so they don't get back to you as quickly as you'd like because, you know, they're busy and holidaying it. So as soon as I hear back from them, then I will post when the next release is. Might be the weekend after that, but I'm not sure. I'm shooting for the 19th, but I'm not exactly sure. But yeah, so I've been super busy because I've been doing the artwork for them and the artwork for us. So I'm going to put a little bit of white in these little bears' eyes just because I think it'll make them super cute. I love it. So there's 2. This one has his eyes closed, so he can't really do that. But I am going to put just a little bit like on the little accent right there. And then a little bit on this rainbow, like just in the middle. So it looks like there's a bit of light shining on it. And then the sunshine. Oh, he's so cute. I love this sunshine. I could see me making a background with this. You can make backgrounds with the rainbows, the sunshine, and the little I mean, how cute is that? Oh my goodness. Okay, these bears are super duper cute, but we missed something. I mean, we didn't miss it. We were holding off and waiting to do it, but we need to do his blanket. And I wanted to mix the pink and the yellow, which is why we didn't do it yet. So I think I want to put them on the card like this, since this one is going, yay, here's my friends. So I want the yellow to be at the bottom and the pink to be in his hand. So what we're going to do is we're going to use those same exact colors that we used for the Care Bears. Here we go. And I'm going to take like 3 or 4 of them and mix them together and see how well they blend. So I think we'll start with this one. This is Y15. And I think we'll go 13 and 11. So when we end with 11 at the tip, then we need something to match with this that rolls into the pink. So I think the RV34 might be too dark. Yeah, too dark. So let's try the R83. See if that one will blend. Oh yeah, that's where we're gonna start. So R83, R32, and then R81. Let's try those combinations. And if we have to add more yellow numbers or pink numbers, we can do that. So with the pink, we're going to start with R81, which is the lightest color. So we're going to kind of do this in a little bit of a rainbow-ish. It's going to start in one color and then it's going to blend into a darker color. So starting with the pink here. The set is on my wish list. I think I need to order them. Oh, they're so cute. How can you not? Hi, Linda. So I told this story, but you were not here yet, Beth. So what happened was I bought this Care Bear set. And then I got a little bit frustrated because I couldn't get the grumpy bear in the belly because I didn't know how to do it. And I thought maybe it didn't fit. And so I sold this set. And then I went to see Sandra at a show and I was like, oh my goodness, I love that Care Bear set. So I bought it again. So I have purchased this, this particular set twice. What can I say? I think I'm going to add a little bit of this RV42 because these colors are just blended too much. There's no variation. And then I'll go back in with our 83 from here and deepen this color. There they go. They mix really nicely. And we need a little bit of the dark around the hand. So I like this set so much I've bought it twice. And then we might as well use RV34 as well. But I'm going to pick it up with 32 to darken this up just a little bit. I want it to be dark enough to blend well with the yellow, you know, so it needs to have a little bit of darker color to it. So we just did a little tip to tip to deepen it up a little. And now we're going to pick up the yellow. So this is like almost like a crocheted where you just change from one color to the next. So we're going to work that line just a little bit. And look at how nicely that blends together. Super, super nice. There we go. Now we're going to use our 13. And I'll probably go along the bottom with this one. This is kind of like if you ever wanted to do like rainbow colors, this is how you blend those rainbow colors together to get it to just find 2 colors that you can meet up right here that'll blend nicely together and you'll be able to rainbow any color that you want. So I'm going to come back in one more time with my R13 and just work this line a little bit more to make sure that I have a good blend right there. Now he has a pink and yellow blanket. I want to add just a little bit more here. I feel like these two colors are so close. They look like they're the same. So just going to add a little teeny bit more where his hand is. Now I'm happy with it. This is our paper. Oh my goodness, look at these cute little bears. Aren't they just the cutest? How can you not just love them? Hey, if that set's on your list, look how big that set is. 2, 4, 6 bears. Isn't that cool? I love it. All right, so we need a couple of little clouds done, okay? This is where the purple's going to come in because we're going to add them to this sky background, which has some purple in it. So we're going to use some of the purple colors. I mean, this is a Care Bear. This is up in the Care Bear sky, so we can pick whatever colors we want. And I think I'm going to go with these like BB17. So it's like a light color. And let's see, what is BB13? Oh, good, really nice. Those go well together. But then we need a little bit of this pink color in with it. So we're going to mix these 3 colors for our clouds. And I think that kind of encompasses this color right here really well. So these are the ones. You love that paper? Me too. It's part of the Alien release. See, it's the other side of this one. I wanted to make them so one side went with the release we had and the other side matched so many other things. So I worked really hard on making them so they'd be useful in lots of different things. Okay, so for the clouds, they're gonna sit like this. And I'm gonna put the darkest color on the bottom of the clouds. And I did cut these without the white border because I want them to blend into the background a little bit more than they would if they had the white border around them. So I'm also touching the edges to make sure that you don't see any of that white that can happen when you cut paper. We'll go around the edge when we're done too. So I want this bottom part of this cloud to stay pretty dark. And we're going to do the same thing on all of them. Yes, you got that. I need Care Bear love. You do, Christina. Look at these Care Bears. They're so cute. They're so much fun. They're at that Sassy Club. And man, that's the perfect scenario to mail a Care Bear card. I already sent your order and I already put you a card in there. But I can always send more. It's going to be, what do they call that? Happy Mail Day? Happy Mail, not Happy Meal. Happy Mail Day.
It should be Monday.
Monday. Happy Mail.
No, that she'll receive it.
Oh, you should get it on Monday. Dale looked it up. Look at him. He's going. He's all good at that. All right. So now we have the bottom done, but I also want to do just a little bit in some of these areas right here. Not all of them, but just a couple of areas just to show a little bit of depth around our clouds. And we're going to do it in both places. And some of the Care Bears are going to be standing on them, so this might get covered up anyway. But I haven't decided how much we're going to pop up yet, but I definitely want some of it dimensional, and I haven't decided. We're just going to place them on there and see what we think as we go, and we'll decide from there. Yeah, so make sure if you got that Interstellar stamp set that you look at all the papers, because there's a lot of this cosmic, you know, and it's the other side of the, see, look at that one. That was pretty cheap. I almost used that purple one, but then I realized I wasn't going to have a purple bear, so I changed my mind. BV13, now we're just going to blend out from that. So make sure we got a good blend on there. And we're just going to keep going with that color. Up our cloud, the tops of our clouds will have the more of the pinky purple color. There we go. And maybe I'll even put just a little bit like just in the clouds so that I'll make my own clouds. I'll make my own clouds. That's what they call going rogue. I love the clouds. I was like, I have to use them. And I almost used this star too, but I was like, nah, I got enough going on in my sky. But there's a little star in this set that's super cute, but it's tiny. I think you could make a really cute background with it, especially if you were doing Bedtime Bear or maybe a baby card or something. It'd be really cute. Okay, we're making our own cloud stuff again. Okay. One more, and then we have one more color, and that should tie it all up, and then we'll just make it into a card and we'll be all done. Christina, did you have a Care Bear when you were little? I love those things. They were so snuggly soft. They made you feel the love. A little bit here, a little bit down from here. Just kind of adding it wherever I want. It's sort of random. I didn't really have a theory behind all of the cloudy stuff. Because clearly they're not real cloud colors, but they're pretty. And they'll match, I think they'll match the whole scene really well. So with this V12, we're going to go over the whole thing. That will help blend the colors together really well, but we're not going to spend a lot of time over top of that purple because it'll wash it out. So it looks like it's not going to blend, but I promise it will. We're just getting the color in there first, and then we'll work those little areas where the two different tones meet up. So right now we're just coloring it in, almost like we do when we color the base of the clouds. I mean, the base of skin color. You know, you just swatch a whole color of that on, and then later you work it out. It kind of washed out my really dark colors, so I may have to put a little bit more of that back in. But basically what we're doing is working these little lines, the edges where the colors vary, just so we can soften that up and make it blend together. So see, that looks a lot better. Here we go, along the edges, just to start softening that color up a little bit in all those areas. And if that doesn't work, you can always go a little bit darker with the purple, the pinky purple color. Also, we could see what color is BV11, and it might help add a little bit more dimension to that. Yeah, perfect. So we're just going to go over it real quick with this BV11 just to soften that harsh pink tone. Perfect. That's what I was looking for. There. Now we have this beautiful little cloud. I love it. All right. Let's go back and put our BV13. Oh, no, we did that. We're on 12. So we're going to do 12. I'm going to do both of these at the same time so we can get them done. because we really just add in the color, and then we'll work the details in a minute. I should have got my sticky mat out for coloring these because they're wiggling all over my desk. Just get that color in. Okay, now we're going to go back, work those edges a little bit more, soften them up so they're not so harsh. Don't want to wash them completely out. You want to still be able to see them. You just want to soften them up a bit. Okay, now this one. This is a pretty easy step. This will definitely help you with blending for sure to do this one. Give you some practice. Now we'll grab that last color, the BB11, blend that out, and we will be finished. And these purple clouds are going to look so cute with all the rest of it. Perfect. I think it really helped to put this last coat right on top. Here we go. I call this over painting. It's like putting one color over the top to change the tone. I don't know if that's a technical term, but that's what I call it. There we go. Super cute clouds. Now the only thing we have to do with the clouds is go around the edge. So use this end of your marker, the chisel end, and just go around the edge like this. And what that does is that gets rid of any of the white part that you can see from cutting the paper. Because we don't have a little white border, I don't want you to see any of that white. So just go around the edge with the back of the marker, the chisel tip, and you won't be able to see any of that white stuff from the paper. You'll see perfectly. But then this one, I have a few little white spots along the edge. So I'm going to do this one too. You can kind of see it right there. See it? And then you just go over it with your marker and it goes away. See? You can see them here too. So if you ever have something you can see that white, just take your marker. You can do it with black or you can do it with whatever. We're just using the darkest color in our combination. I don't do this with everything, especially if I have a border around it, but I do if I don't have a border around it. So I don't want you to see all of that. And then it looks like I cut it out perfectly and everything was fabulous. It's a trick of the eye. These are the tricks that I would do that you guys would not know unless you were watching my live. You'd be like, oh, look, she's great at cutting that out. You can't see any of the white stuff. Yeah, we cheated. All right. So we're going to use this paper. Here's our little Care Bears. Oh my gosh, they're so cute. And then I have this is from the stencil, the double layer stencil that we have in the shop that released this week as well. And it is this one. So I did the word love right there, background, and then this word goes over it. You can see it a little better if I put them backwards. See? And it made this one. And I just made a couple of them, like I made the whole sheet in pink and purple. And then I just keep them on my desk so I can use them when I need them. And I think that it goes perfectly with this. I think a white card base so it doesn't take away from the beautiful colors of the sky. So I'm going to just fold that. I need to cut that paper down. And I really want, I wasn't exactly sure where I wanted to put the clouds and stuff, but look at how good these blend in. Oh my gosh, it's really good. I think we'll float them around in different places, like the little characters in different places. So this one's in the middle because he's going, ta-da, here's my friends. We'll put this one over here. He'll still be standing on a cloud. We're going to have to cut that out because that's going to drive me crazy. And then this one will be standing on this cloud. And they'll be floating up in the sky. I think I'll move this one over a little bit. So I need to see how close they have to be together to be on the card. So the way I measure that is I'll take the card like this or like this. So we'll probably do this card long ways so we can fit all the Care Bears in there. So that tells me that when I cut this paper, I want to cut it long ways this way. So it's 5.5 by 4 1/4. So I'm going to cut it 1/4 of an inch smaller. So this way, 4 1/4. So I'm going to cut this at 4. And then I'm going to flip it around. And I'm going to cut this at 5 1/4. I'm going to look though. I want to make sure I have enough of the clouds. I do. 5 1/4. We'll just cut that little piece of clouds off. Now we have this beautiful little scene right here. And we're going to put it on our card right here. We got the white background. I like it, but I might want a border behind it. I might want a color behind it. Hold on, let me look at my cards and see if I have any cut out already. Or any scrap papers I could put back there. I would think like a dark blue, maybe. Let me look at my scraps real quick. There's a blue, maybe a yellow. These are what I have in my extra paper stash. Let me just look real quick. See what else I have. Red, dark orange, maybe orange. I don't know. Okay, these are some of the scraps. Let's see what looks good behind it. I feel like we need a border around it. I don't know why. I think it's just me. I think the orange is too much since there's no orange in our picture. The blue might be perfect. I think the blue is really good. Or we have yellow as well. I like the blue. Let's use the blue. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to glue it on here and then trim it after. I think it's faster that way. This is how I craft with a guesstimation. I don't have to measure it. I'm just eyeballing it. So it's easier for me to eyeball it if I put this right on there and then trim the paper after that. So that is what we're going to do. I just wanted a very tiny border. I don't want it to be very much, just really small border around the edge. Flip it over, rub it with the soda press. And then we'll trim it, and then that should get us there. So I just need a very small, maybe just a tad bit more. This is eyeballing. I do it all the time. Same thing on this side. You just want a little bit. There we go. That's perfect. All right. So yeah, that's how I do it. That's how I normally craft. Now you've seen the real thing in my craft room. Oh yeah, this is so much better. See, I don't want you to see so much white. So now we'll put this on, and then I'm going to grab my, I think I have some Stampin' Up! Pop dots that I'm going to use. Dimensionals, whatever they call them. whatever they call them. All right, let's get this centered on here. I think I'm going to use dimensionals to pop some of that stuff up. I think it would be cute to do that. Perfect. There we go. Then I flip it over. I rub it with the soda press. Spreads the glue, gets a good adhesion, and nothing moves around because I flipped it over. Love that. All right, so much better. Don't you think it's better without that big white background? I think it is. I like it better that way. Okay, so this little guy is going to come up here, probably off to the side a little bit, or maybe we need to put them way up there, floating on their clouds, because we got to get that word love in there somewhere. Don't you worry, y'all. Get it in there. Oh my goodness. This is so cute. All right, so we're going to put our little bedtime bear down here. Oh, we could put this right here in the center. We'll move him over just a tad. And I kind of want to tilt him a little so it looks like he's kind of up on one foot. Like that. And then we'll put this one over here. And then we have our love at the bottom. Yes, I like it. Okay, so, huh? Yeah, rainbow love would look good. I wanted to use the purple, but I didn't have the purple. I only had the purple in this Celebrate. I don't have the word love, and I like the word love. All right, let's pop up some of these. Let me grab my little pops. And I'm trying to decide if I should pop up the clouds and then, oh no, they're not dimensionals. They are scrapbook adhesives, scrapbooky things. I was thinking, I think I'll pop up the clouds and then I will pop up the bears twice. Does that make sense? Do you know what I mean? So there'll be different sizes. I was hoping I had, sometimes I have some of those thin, I don't know if you've seen them before, but the thin dots, they're like half the size of the regular dots. Let me see, I have one more place to look, but if I don't have it, I won't be able to do it, but let me look in my little things and see if I have any of the half. These look like the full-size ones. Hold on, I got a ton of these. Are these the full-size ones? These feel thinner. Nope, they're the full-size ones too. Okay, hold on, I got about 10 of these in here. Oh, this one says thin. I bet this one is the thinner one. See? Thin. These are the regular foams, and these are the thin ones. So that'll get me what I'm looking for. That way, when I double them up, they're not real big. I'll show you what I mean. Just hold 1 second. So you can see that this, see how this is like half the size of this? See? That way, if we put this on the cloud and then we double this up, he'll be a little bit higher than the cloud, if that makes sense. So we'll put this one here, and then I have the little ones as well. The little tiny squares, which are awesome. There we go. And we need to do that on all of our clouds, because all the clouds are the same, so it doesn't really matter. I usually use my tweezers for this so it doesn't stick to my hand. But I'm lazy tonight. And I got them from, I think it's Stamplistic at the expo that I went to. They're the ones that sell, because they layer up everything. They're the ones that sell the half as thick layer. I don't know what you call it. thin 3D, whatever. So then we're going to put on the bears. First, we'll start with the thick one, and we'll put that on there. So we'll need a couple of them so that they stand up, but we don't need any at the bottom because it's going to stand on top of this. Okay, so you don't want to put any of these down at the bottom, otherwise it won't sit on the cloud correctly. So there's one on that side, and then one down here, not all the way down, just to right there, leaving the bottom open. And I have one cut in half, so we'll use that half shell. I cut them in half a lot, as you can tell. See, the paper's already cut. Because sometimes I need just a half a one for the side of the project. So there we go, there's one. And we're going to do the same thing with this one. Two at the top. One here. We can fit another one on this side because the hands are sticking out. And then I'll just put a little half one right here. And then we'll leave the little legs alone. And then this one. This one is a smaller bear, so I'm just going to put a half one over here. It's okay, no problem. We'll put a half one over here. And then we'll put a half one right here. So we left their feet open. We wanted to do that on purpose. And now we're going to grab those very thin ones like this. And what we do is we take off this top. Just like this. And we got to cut some of these so they'll go on top of those ones we had. They don't have to be perfect, just as long as they're cut. So this one will go on top of this one. And then this one will go on top of this one. And then my halvesies, this one will go on top of this one. And this is a little bit detailed to do this, but it's going to be so cute when it gets done. I think it makes a big difference when you finish the project. There we go. And then we just have to do it for this bear. And of course, this card will be definitely thicker. If you're mailing it, you might want to reconsider. Maybe do a thin one and a thin one to double layer it up instead of the thick one. If you're going to mail it, you'd want to do two thin ones on these and one thin one on the clouds. And then that it won't stick up quite as far, but I want mine to be dimensional. So I am all about doing this, even though it takes a little bit of time. You guys don't have to work tomorrow, right? You don't mind hanging out with me for just a little bit longer, huh? Because this is going to be so cute when we get done. I like how easy these come off too. It's frustrating to me when I get some that don't come off. Two. And see, they don't have to be on there perfectly. As long as they're close, that's good enough. And they're going to be under something, so you're not even going to see them. So it's no problem, just as long as it's on there somewhere. There we go. Now let's start with our clouds and let's lay our love on the card so we don't forget to leave space for it, because if you don't lay it on there, you might forget when you're placing them all down there, and then you won't have enough room for your Care Bears and your love. Okay, so this one is going to go down here. That's where this little guy is going to go. Oh, I was going to cut that piece out. I'm still going to do it because it's going to drive me crazy if I don't. I know I already stuck that down, but I didn't put any right there where I'm cutting. So this is scary because you don't want to cut too far or rip the paper, but I probably wouldn't try this at home if I hadn't already done it, if I were you. Then I'm just going to cut that off. And it's going to be perfect. Okay, much better. See, I hate when that's supposed to be clear. I mean, it's supposed to be see-through and it's not. It drives me crazy. All right, now we're going to peel these off. It is thick, as you can tell. But it's not as thick as a double layer would be, so, because it's only 1.5. I love those little half thingies. And then we're going to put a little bit of glue along the bottom here, just for the part that's going to touch the cloud. Like this. So we're going to hold that so it sticks to the cloud. And then our little bear is popped up. And it's so cute. Look, it's perfect. See, he looks like he's in front of the cloud. Next one. These should go on there fairly quickly. If they can come off of my fingers. I want to make sure he's up high enough that his hands don't hit the poor sleeping bear on his head. Let's slide him down. Make sure he's down far enough. Now hold him on there. Perfect. Okay, one more. These are so cute. They make me happy. They probably make you guys happy too, huh? All right, here we go. Here we go. We're almost done. Just a little bit of glue along the bottom. That's going to stick to the cloud. I'm going to put the love straight on the card. I'm not going to pop it up, because everybody else is popped up. Just make sure it's straight. I'm going to hold it down with this for a second. Now I'm going to take my white gel pen and I'm going to add just a little bit of accent to this heart. I think on this side. Make sure it's working. This pen's almost out of ink. But I am going to use every bit of it because that's how I roll. We'll just put a little bit at the top of the L, a little bit over here, maybe right here, a little bit right here, along the bottom. Just kind of get a little bit of that so it stands, so the love stands out just a little bit more. And then I have these bling. This is sneak peek for new bling in the shop. These are clear pink. I don't know what they're going to be called yet. I don't think we named them yet. But I am going to put them on my card. I'm going to put a big one. Let's flip them over. If I can get a hold of them, you guys. I knew that was going to happen. I bet this is the funniest part of y'all's night, is watching me try to stick stuff to the card. You probably giggle a little bit, because I know I would. Now, you can see the glue through it right now, but when the glue dries, you won't be able to see it. You won't be able to see it on there anymore. So it is okay that you can see it right now. So I use my little soda press to press down on them just to make sure that they get a good adhesion to the card. And I do that on each one of them usually. Oops, if they don't wiggle around too much. There we go. And they'll stick when the glue is ready to stick. There we go. Sometimes I go around the outside of them like this and pick up any glue that like is really thick, but that's just because it's a personal preference, not because it needs to be. And I'm going to put one more right here. And that is all I'm going to put on there. I'm going to try to press it without making it move around. And then I'm going to wipe that extra glue right there off. It'll dry clear, so see, that one's already dry and clear. But there we go. Look at our little Care Bear love. Doesn't that just make you smile? Look, you can see all the shadows. Look at all the bear shadows because they're standing up. Isn't that cool? So when you look at, depending on what direction you put it. But there you go. Yes, these are the ones Dale makes. He's starting to make some solid colors because the ones that we bought, like the ones I did the other night that you guys saw that have the glitter in them. See all the glitter sparkle in them? Look, you can see it shining in there on those little purple ones on that card. Ta-da! Sparkly, sparkly. You can see it sparkle as you move it. But these don't have this sparkle. These are the ones that are just plain. They're just solid. I told him we needed some other than the bubble ones that were just solid. So when you laid them on something white, they were just a complete solid color. See? So that's what he's working on now, is solid color ones. And I like that color. It's a perfect color. Look at how cute that is. You can almost see it. It almost darkens this one a little bit because of the blue underneath. But there's also still some glue drying under there, so it'll probably go to completely see-through as soon as it finishes drying. But it takes a little bit to dry, like these ones did. And then they pop off the page. See how bright they are? I love it. All right, so that is our Care Bear, our amazing Care Bear awesomeness. It's so cute. That cloud background is perfect. I think it's perfect. I hope you guys like that. This is the, it's called the 80s Bear. So if you go to the Sassy Club and you're looking for it, this one is called 80s. See, 80s Bears. Sassy Club. And this is what they look like. And we just used 3 of them. 3 of the bears. So this one, and that one. There's still one where he's like, oh my. And there's the grumpy one, and there's a birthday one, and you get hearts and balloons. We use the cloud. You get, these are the ones that we use, but look at that star. That's, we almost used that star tonight. It's so cute. And then flowers as well. They're sold out. I bet they'll be back. She orders them a lot. Hey, Beth, if you really want them, send her a message because sometimes she has some extra ones that might not show in the shop and she can add it. Or I'll send her a message after the live and say, can you add any of those Care Bears if you have any to the site? But awesome. They're so cute. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I know that she'll get them back because they're hot commodity. She has them a lot. Reorders them a lot. Because everybody loves them. But thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a fabulous 4th of July tomorrow. And I hope you'll come back and see me on Tuesday. I don't know. I might feel spontaneous this weekend. So stay connected to the site if you want. I might, you never know. I might do something else. I never can decide. But if I'm sitting at home crafting all day, then you never know. I might pop in somewhere. I'm going to save these because these are amazing that I can use on something else. And there we go. Good night and happy 4th. I'm so sorry these are sold out. I didn't know that. But sometimes she has some. So I'll let you know, Beth. If she finds one, I'll let you know.
Can you hold that card up again?
Yeah. Hold it up again, you said?
Yeah, that one. I was just picking up the...
Shadow.
No, the dots. It's just picking up the color from the background.
Yeah, it is. Uh-huh. So it makes them blend in a little bit with still a pink tint because they match the thing really well. But yeah, they do pick up a little bit of the background, which is kind of cool. I sort of like that. Next week, maybe some of your images. Yes, for sure. Yep. We have to do this one. And then I have so many more that I want to do. But I've been kind of doing those for speed coloring. So check out our YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram because I post speed coloring on there a lot. So I've been doing some of I did a baby dragons and a couple other ones, and they're out there. So make sure you check out there too because you'll see them. Every now and then I post them in Facebook, but not always. So you go to the other social media platforms, you can see them. But yes, next week we will do more of mine. And if you have a request, let me know because I can certainly do it.
If you want to find your social media, it's at the bottom of our page, the links.
Okay, so the links to our social medias are at the bottom of the store. If you scroll down when you get to the store, it gives you links directly to all our social media. So if you want to check those out, you can do that. It's in the footnote of the page. If you have any other questions or if you have a request of what you want to see colored, just send me a PM or put it on this message and tag me so I can see it, and we will try to do that. But in the meantime, I didn't want to kill you guys with a whole bunch of aliens, so I kind of gave it a break and tried a few other things. I really like them. I hope you do too, and I will see you guys next week. Enjoy your holiday and be safe. Good night.